I don't know how Cheese made it, because I haven't been involved in that, but the product breaks down so well in water that it becomes almost water.
Welcome today. We're here at the NOWFood Centre, and this is where a lot of the research and a lot of the, how can I say, time spent to tell you the results of our products. So hopefully you can follow me and come through.
Today we're shooting one of the first cinematic type videos from MYOBAND, which is going to be a little bit of an in-depth backstory to the product Oblivion. Key for today is really exploring that backstory, using different parts of the location that we've got, putting an audio script together, using the lab that we've got thankfully full use of today as well. But this is a part of the content that's coming together from MYOBAND that has a little bit more of a depth to it, that's a little bit more cinematic, a little bit more relatable, and the key for these pieces of content is about growing that community. So you might see some of it on YouTube, you might see it on the website, and that's pretty much it.
So we're currently in a chemistry lab. As you can see, there's a lot of kit in here which is very expensive. What you probably wouldn't get back in the day was a lot of the automation of the kits these days, which you'll see, like for example, GC here, everything is done within the unit.
So as soon as
and a great example of this is if you come with me.
Does it continually move, or does it just load them into that?
It basically, it'll move into that.
This is what old equipment used to look like. So now everything's automated, whereas that old equipment, it used to be a lot of your own distillation, manual work. And these days, tech has evolved, and science has evolved with tech. And so you can see that some amazing pieces of kit, like
My name's Stewart, I am the food scientist at the NOWFood Centre. So we're in the chemistry lab at NOWFood, and we've got some samples basically just starting to run on the GCE headspace here.
Yep. And just in case, for the camera, anyone doesn't know what GC is, gas chromatography.
Yeah, there is that.
It's almost like, you know, like running like a filter, and then you're just splitting it out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
using gas.
In the most simple terms, yeah, that's it. It's about, it's kind of done by weight. So as you volatilize stuff, so it turns into gas, then the heavier compounds settle at the front end of the column, and then as you increase the temperature on the oven, it then pulls them off, basically, in a quick lesson.
Much quicker version.
Yeah. What we know with the Oblivion is it's so water soluble that I'm intrigued to see if there's anything volatile in there that we can see that's very different to a normal protein mix.
And we've put something against it, haven't we? So
we've put the whey active.
So a whey product. Yeah.
So we'll see if the difference in density in the sample really makes a difference. Because they aren't as soluble, there might be some kind of difference in the volatile materials in there as well.
Yeah. So we'll be back with you to show you some results. It's interesting because we picked up some alcohol.
Yes, essentially.
But we know that alcohol doesn't exist in the product. But what we can tell is from the peaks is because GC, what it does is it splits the compounds. So then with it having creatine in it, it's actually quite a unique compound. So you've got, creatine's got the amino side, but it's also got an alcohol where if split, you can come out. So it's but
Yeah, 'cause-
it's very low levels.
What you're saying is, so basically this method isn't set up to do amino acids, but with a bit of heat, we're probably going to break down that anyway.
Yeah.
So what we would then get is the alcohol side of that. So that doesn't necessarily, it's not representative to necessarily in the sample,
Yeah.
but it is in the, if you don't, it's kind of a weird one to explain. It's present, but it's only present because of manipulation by the GC.
Yeah. Yep. So basically, we're going to viscometer,
Yeah.
and it's exactly what it says. It's how viscous something is.
Yeah. It's the resistance that it takes for the spindle to turn. So as the way the machine is currently set up, what we're saying is on the Oblivion, there is so little effort required to spin the spindle. You're looking at 10 CP. Now I would expect the WayX to be higher than that, but that's that is what we're testing really, what we're trying to understand.
So as a standard on water, then
I would expect water to be very similar to this.
very similar.
Yeah. So this is a master sizer, and what the master sizer does is particle size. So something I've always experienced with protein shakes is they say 2 scoops, you shake it and you shake it a good shake, but it's still got some kind of bits, you can kind of feel them. So what we can do here is actually analyze what the size of those particles are. So you can look at redesigning your product based on going, well, people's feedback. They go, oh, it's a bit bitty, so then you can understand what sort of value that is, what are the particle sizes and what are their distribution. So what it does is tells you on here, I mean at the moment it's not running, but this is the energy the laser needs, and then what it'll do is it'll actually tell you the volume of each particle and its size. So then what you've got with that is a kind of a definite figure of what are the particle sizes within your product.
For Oblivion, you're really kind of showing a particular product, even at its nutrient level. Like we know there's like protein, you've got different sizes. So you know when we've got Stuart, we've got like your larger structures, and then if you go back to the protein guide, what we did on YouTube, it kind of when we explain about the Lego blocks being like single amino acids, and then you build it up to different structures. So really, what you want is as small structures as possible, so it can get the protein into your body, because the smaller it is, the less digestion is required of the body for the absorption.
Yeah.
So we've just added the sample to the master sizer, and as you can see, what you would expect is what Stuart mentioned before. You will pick up the particles because it's not dissolved yet within the solution, but then what will happen, you just got to give it some time to dissolve fully and then take the measurement.
What we can do to make it hurry along is we can actually put the ultrasound on. So that will help.
And that ultrasound is used for high frequency vibrations. So in a way you can use, like for example, many have seen like ultrasonic baths where you can clean things. So it's basically doing the same thing now, just agitating it in a micro scale.
Is that how Batman communicates with bats?
Also that. So I think what's really important is showing you guys that, you know, when we say it's almost zero digestion, it is because you can actually see from the data itself on how small the particles are becoming, and that's actually being done by data, which is very science driven and which is really exciting, so we'll keep watching.
Basically it's telling us the required amount of energy and the detector that detected. It also tells us on a different screen the scatter size in particle size. So this is the important data for us. So on this sample, on this one that we just ran, what we're saying is the particle distribution size is all concentrated in this area, which is 1 micrometer and below, basically. The sizes is what we're talking about. It's just like,
I mean, it's pretty.
When you look at
I think I'm pretty happy with that.
I don't know how Cheese made it, because I haven't been involved in that, but the product breaks down so well in water that it becomes almost water.
We want to tell these stories of how science and actual, just real life, kind of lifestyle fit together, and how we can actually achieve the best we can.
Yeah.
And I think it's just super exciting. It's quite nice just to come back and see things are all still going on, and obviously more and more people graduating. So might even do a competition. Who can formulate the next big product?